Okay, well, so this is chapter 3, and it's March. It's still March March the 18th. And I think it's Wednesday. I don't even know what day. March 18th, 2026. This is chapter 3. So I just finished with the telephone store, Cricket. And remember, all names have been changed to protect the innocent. I was told, and I thought I got that phone on Saturday, but maybe not. Who knows? But he said it was exactly 7 days for me to return it. So if I'd have waited, I wouldn't have gotten anything back. And so I spoke with the guy yesterday, and he said, $208, you're going to get that back. Well, so I ended up getting $109 and some change. So luckily I have that. I'm very blessed because he could have charged, I paid $208, but anyway, all that's over. It doesn't matter, and I got the money. I am going to call the corporate office and make sure that I don't get anything else, because my heart tells me that he wasn't being honest. He wasn't very friendly, and anyway, so who cares? We're going to let that go. So let's now go back to Griffin. So what I'm doing now is I am headed out to Eisenhower State Park. That is where Griffin and I used to go whenever I first moved into this apartment. And we would go out there and meditate. And it was, the apartment always felt kind of weird to me. But now, whenever I go in there, and I know it affects Griffin too, I can tell. It's like I put tinfoil on my head. I get dizzy whenever I'm in there. I get where I can't think. My thoughts are scrambled. And yeah, it's like somebody is boosting those EMF waves or something in there, which is weird, man. I was like, what the hell? I got an EMF counter on my phone, but who knows, man, if that stuff's true or not. But I tell you what, I will. If someone's doing that, I'll find out. But anyway, so one thing that we're told during times like this is we must love the people that are doing things like this to us. And it's hard. It's hard to send love to those people, but what I do is I can't right now. Our life it keeps us from focusing on the important stuff. It's always it's always throwing hurdles at us. Now, there's so many different beliefs and theories on what this is now. So the Catholic Church wants us to believe, or the Catholic Church and all of Western religion wants us to believe that it's the devil. And I believe in chapter 1 I spoke about the devil, what the devil is. Satan, Satan is actually a word, and Satan is a word for like evil energy or something. I believe it's in the Hebrew language. And I spoke of this, the doctor in chapter 1. I can't think of what his name is now. But in Hebrew, I believe it's in Hebrew, the original text, whenever they use the word Satan, that means evil. Michael Heiser, that's who. He was a Hebrew scholar. And, and that's something that he said, is there's so many little bitty changes in the original canon, the original text, that change the entire meaning of, it's kind of hot here, change the entire meaning of the entire verse of the Bible. So yeah. So anyway, continuing on. So Griffin and I are headed out to Eisenhower Park. Something else that's real important is, it's like the way that they scramble you, the way that they scramble with all the thoughts. It's like an overload of information to where you don't know what the truth is and what is not the truth. And that's what's happened to me as far as, should I do this, should I do not? Praying in Jesus' name, I always felt, not always, because whenever I first started this path of being a seeker, a spiritual seeker, finding out the truth, I prayed in Jesus' name. And then something in my heart told me, that's like disrespecting God, the creator, not God, I'm talking spirit. To me, if you pray in someone else's name and you don't give the glory, even though Yeshua is the original name of Jesus, I'm not even sure where the name Jesus came from, but Yeshua is what it's supposed to be pronounced, or how it's supposed to be pronounced. Praying in someone else's name, to me, in my heart, disrespects the whole purpose of the prayer. We should pray to the creator, the spirit, the creator of the universe. Now, and what I was speaking about earlier was that there's so many different theories. So the Gnostic view is this world that we live in, the prison that we're in, and it is a prison. It's a literal prison, and I figured that out one time whenever I was in Florida, but I'll continue on. That will come at another time. The Gnostic view is this world, this was created by a damaged creator who thought it or he was God. And that will be a whole nother thing that I'll go on, because it's very, very interesting. But he has a name, and his name, of course I can't think of what his name is right now, but I can't think of what it is. But it's a male, because his creator created him without her other half, the male counterpart, which damaged him and made him think that he was the creator of the universe, except he was very jealous. He only me, and that's the God of the Old Testament. Now, the first time I was told about the God of the Old Testament was a friend of mine, and I was like, what? No way. Cross is evil guy. But then I started thinking about it, and I spoke about that in chapter 1 also, was, it does make sense. I mean, why would a God want to kill his babies, his animals, and anything else? And, the more I thought about it, it doesn't make sense to me. And so that's whenever the Gnostic religion and the Gnostic beliefs started coming in very strong for me. Now, it's all theory again, and we won't know truly until we're gone and out of this realm. But anyway, so and I kind of got off track, so forgive me about that. I am now headed out to Eisenhower State Park. I had said that earlier. That's where Griffin and I would come whenever I first got in this apartment. Before it, in the very beginning, whenever I was enjoying myself, whenever I was living there, and I was free, and I was getting the disability, and I had money, and I was going to go get a job, and all this. And so this is a good place. I'm trying to think if I want to go to the place. I guess we'll find that out. I hope you're able to see as I drive. So this is late. Oh no, did I turn right? I don't think I turned right. I guess, yeah, I did. This is Lake Texoma, so I'm like real close to Lake Texoma, which is a blessing. And the thing is I have, this is a different park, I think, than I've gone to. Oh, that's cool. Maybe this is where we're supposed to go. I've never gone to Eisenhower. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe so. But yeah. So as we continue on out here, I wish the lake was warmer. I would like to put Griffin in the water. I think it would be very healing for him. But I don't know if this is a natural lake, and I don't know if it's running. But frankly, right now, until he's feeling better, I'm afraid that the water would be too cold for him. Because night before last, we were sleeping in our car because I didn't want to make the drive from Irving, where I'm working, all the way back to Sherman, and it got cold, and he was shaking. I was fine because I was bundled. I didn't bring his sweater, and I forgot, and he was shaking, so I didn't have my glasses. That was the main reason that I didn't have my glasses. So I was like, oh no, I I can't drive at night. And yeah, well, I'm fixing that because, see, all I have to do is say I do not wear glasses. My eyesight is better than 100%. And in the views, the laws of the universe, that is one of the universal laws. And that law is as above, so below. And whatever happens has to happen before above. But it happens above first, and then it trickles down. So that is the universal laws. And I never really understood the universal laws that well. But the more I listened and learned, the more I understand now. But again, you have to be so careful because they'll confuse you. But that makes perfect sense. So whatever happens in this realm is happening in the realm above us or in a different realm. Maybe the creator realm. In the Gnostic view, again, the creator realm, there's a word for it, and it's called, I can't think of that. I guess I have to tell you that later. The ether. I believe it's the ether, or the plethoma, something like that. Anyway, so we're coming up on the park. Luckily, because I am disabled per the universe, or not the universe, but per this realm, per these people, I am blessed that I can get into these parks. I don't think I have to pay anything. I think for camping, I could pay half. It's nice, I mean, there are lots of benefits to being disabled. I must say, I like it. I like it a lot. And there's also a lot of benefits of not being disabled or something like that. That makes okay. So I'm pulling up right now on the park. Oh, there's a lot of people here, boy. Last June, there was nobody here. Nobody would come in, and you couldn't swim. Oh my gosh, look, there's like a line and stuff. But so I'm sure there's no camping spots, but that's okay. I'm going to tell them what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask them. I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to tell them I'm going to go pray for my child, and I know that they will direct me to the best place for him. So at this point, I think, okay, these people are all trying to get in and stuff. So, and I guess so. That was chapter 1, 2, chapter 3. So I'm going to end chapter 3 at Eisenhower State Park, going into the entrance. And sometimes whenever you get emotional like this, it does help. And then sometimes people think you're freaking crazy, but I am crazy. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to try to park. I'm going to park my beautiful car. The only thing is, I don't get the disabled parking spot, which sucks. But anyway, okay, so I'm leaving my child in the car. There's Griffin. He's been sleeping the whole time. Okay, all right, so this is the end of chapter 4.